Hello, this is Mr. Woods here, bringing you a brand new little video on my YouTube channel today. So, we're going to be picking off of what if Deku was a Joestar. So, we're going to be picking off this part. So, recap from last part actually. Everybody got the last member, Leo, and they all head out to the mystery location, which is a small miniaturized mansion. So we're gonna pick off with them walking in. So as Trevor, Kid, Leo, and Joey walk in, they would head straight up. They would walk in up the stairs, enter into the door, and then they would head into the dining hall, where we would see Yake just sitting there eating vanilla ice cream covered in chocolate syrup with a cherry on top with banana. So yeah, he's basically having a banana sundae, a banana split or ice cream sundae, which one you call it. So yeah, so Leo would walk up to the guy with the red hair and say, "Who are you?" And then Yuyake would put his spoon down and put the bowl on the table and turn his chair facing everybody, saying, "You two must be the new members." And then this is when Izuku would say, "You tell us why we're here." Well, tell him why we're here, because I already know. And then Leo would be like, "What are you talking about, Izuku?" And then Yuyake would say, "Your friend Joey already knows. You two are going to be joining my little gang." And then this is when Leo would say, "Sorry, but I can't. I'm not going to involve myself with gang activity." And then Yuyake would say, "What, because of your past, or you are afraid of what we can do if you don't comply all the way?" And then Leo would just quickly shush up while Joey would say, "Well, why do you want us to join your gang anyway?" And then Yuyake would say, "I'm forming a gang of vigilantes in order to strike against villains. So we'll be opposing as villains, but we'll be doing hero work. The work that has been assigned to us from the government." And then Izuku would say, "Government." And then he says, "Basically, we're the gang that gets the okay for doing gangly activities from the government. So we're basically their little secret organization." So then this is where Leo would say, "Wait a minute, the government knows about us?" And then he's gonna say, "Only the important people in our government know about us. Everybody else in the government doesn't even know we exist. To them, we're just a bunch of gang members that need to be put away. But the high leader in our government knows, created this task force himself. The highest member in the government. You couldn't be talking about. Yup, this is his organization. His and his alone. Nobody on his staff or anywhere else in the government knows we exist. Just him and him alone." And then, so no wonder. So, what do you want? No wonder you guys were in UA without. When you guys were in the UA, was inside of UA without being told to leave. Exactly. And then this is when Joey would whisper into Leo's ear, "Think about it. If we join them, we can get a whole lot of stuff off our backs, you know?" And then Leo would say, "I know we could get a whole lot of stuff off our backs, but are you really sure? This could cost us our lives and our dreams of becoming heroes." And then this is where Yuyake would roll his chair over, saying, "This actually benefits you for becoming hero. If you do this, the government would assign you to heroes on the spot. You might get a high place in ranking of heroes." And then Yuyake will go on to say, "Oh, I know you guys don't want to automatically be giving your high ranking. You guys want to work for it like honest heroes. I understand that. But think of this as thinking think of you two joining my gang as field testing to see if you two are appropriate. Now your teacher, if you two get accepted into UA, your teachers would be aware of this. Just your teachers would be aware of you doing after school activities with high ranking up heroes. Well, not high ranking up heroes, just they'll just be told that you guys are working part of the government. So you will be allowed to skip some school days, but you will be attending UA if you two get accepted, which most likely you two will. And, well, I should say three. Three. And then this is where Yuyake would point to. This is where Yuyake and everybody will turn their attention to, well, basically, Kid just sitting in a corner. This is when Leo would say, "Wait a minute, Kid is that kid over there that's named Kid is attending UA?" And then this is when Yuyake would say, "Yep, he was supposed to be my informant and giving intel on the two, getting intel on Izuku. But once we found out that Izuku has an accomplice and his accomplice seemed to be powerful and trustworthy, we just had to think, well, since you look like you were going to be the type of guy to get hard to get rid of, we decided to bring you into this as well." And then this is when Kid would just open his eyes and make the same expression that we see right here. And then Kid would be like, "I don't have time for this, man. Please go to sleep." This is when Yuyaka would say, "Go to your room then." This is when Trevor would say, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to my room as well." And then we would cut over to. Then this is when Kid and Trevor would go to their rooms. And after when they go upstairs to their rooms, the back door would bust open as we would see a person with a purple and black scarf and jacket, and they seem to be out of breath. And this is when Izuku would look dumbfounded and Leo would have his guard up, and this is when Yuyaka would tell them calm down. This lovely person here is my sister, Neo. Neo, what do you want? And then Neo would say, "Well, you don't have to keep telling new members that I'm your sister." And then Yuyake would say, "Well, of course, they would have guessed it due to our hair and eye colors being different, while yours is a black, gray, and navy blue and dark purple, and mine being a light pinkish red. Light red pinkish, actually." And this is when Neo would look straight at Deku, will look straight at Izuku, and Izuku will look straight at Neo. And we would see Neo and Izuku both have heart-shaped pupils looking at each other. This is when Yuyake and and Leo would snap them both out of it. And this is when Neo would say, "Well, my name is Neo, and my quirk is basically my quirk is basically somewhat dangerous." And this is when Yuyake would cut her off, saying her quirk is called Omega. And then Leo would be like, Omega, you mean as in Omega power or something? Yes. And this is when Yuyake would explain that her powers allow her to charge up energy in through and out through her body, and surprisingly, she's been working on techniques with her energy. She's learned that she can use energy blasts like similar to my red explosion, and this is when Yuyake will look at Izuku, and Izuku would say, your red explosions." And then Yuyake would say, "Is affirmative, of course," just like that, but hers are a little bit stronger, and she can also use the energy, she can also manipulate that energy into healing people. And then this is when Neo would say, "Really? I was trying to keep that a secret." And then Yuyake would say, "Well, sorry, little sis, it had to be said." And then this is when Izuku would walk up to her and shake her hand, saying, "Are you applying for UA?" And then she would say, "Sadly, I actually graduated UA." And then Izuku would be like, "Really?" And this is when Yuyake would say, "You two done conversating?" And this is when Leo would say, "Well, besides all that, I'm hungry. Can we at least eat something?" And then this is when we would cut to Izuku. This is when we were cut to Izuku giving Leo the same exact look that we see here. The look that we see Izuku with now is the same look he gives Leo. And then Zuko said, "Smooth criminal." And then Smooth Criminal would appear, and this is when we would see Smooth Criminal say, "Shoot!" shooting out one of the shackles, hitting Leo in the stomach, forcing Leo not back into a wall, knocking Leo out. And this is when Smooth Criminal would go back, would disappear, and Izuku would say that should take care of him for tonight. And this is when Neo would look at Izuku and she would ask him, "Wait a minute, you have a stand? Wait a minute, you're the one with Smooth Criminal, aren't you?" And this is when Izuku would say, "Yeah." And this is when Yuyake would say, "You know you can take your friend upstairs, right? Into one of the rooms that we have." This is when Deku would tell Smooth Criminal to take Leo upstairs into one of the rooms so he can rest off. And then this is when Neil would say, "You're really gonna let your friend go to bed hungry?" And this is when Izuku was like, "Trust me, he had a full-on meal before all this happened." And then this is when Yuyake would say, "I'm gonna go upstairs with Smooth Criminal because your friend is still injured." This is where we would cut to, and we would see Smooth Criminal and Yuyake would go upstairs, and Yuyake would give Deku the look on like, "Don't do anything to my sister or I will kill you in our rematch." And then Izuku, understanding this look, respects it. And then Yuyake and Smooth Criminal take Leo upstairs. And this is when we would hear a knock at the front door, and as Neo goes to go open it, we would see a tall man with an umbrella since it started to rain, saying, "Is Yuyake here?" And then Neo would say, "My brother's upstairs, why?" And then he would say, "Alright, let me in." And then she would say, "Fine." And he would walk in and go to the table in the dining hall and sit down. And this is when the guy would look at Zuko and told him, "Go fix him a drink." And then Zuko would say, "Wait, what?" And then Neo would point to the direction of the kitchen, giving Deku the look like this means business. And then Izuku would comply and go fix the man a drink. And then Izuku would come back with the man's drink, and then the man would say, perfect degree margin and two big pieces of ice in it to cool off a nice smooth beverage. And then the man would drink it and say, ah, that was good. I needed that. And this is when the guy would look back at Izuku and saying, I'm sorry for telling you to go fix me a drink like that, knowing that you don't work here, well, not yet. Let me guess, you're trying to get yourself caught in gang problems, boy? This is when Izuku would say, why is that your concern? And this is when the man would get up from his chair, walk over to Izuku and say, I know your family, boy. You're a Joestar. Simple and easy. What is a Joestar like you doing in a place like this? Your parents must be devastated or scared where you are. And then Izuku was like, don't bring up my parents, they have nothing to do with this. This is all of my choice, and I haven't spoken to my parents in, 2 years? And I'm 16? And then, and this is where the guy would say, really? Makes sense. And then this is when Yuyake would walk downstairs saying, I thought I heard a familiar voice. Neo, take Izuku to the movie room. Take Izuku to the theater room. I have business to attend to. And this is when Neo would grab Izuku by the wrist saying, come on. As we would cut to Yuyake. Yuyake quickly would say, what are you doing here? Quickly as we see surrounding his hand and the purple like mist. And this is when we would cut to the guy. This is when we would cut to the guy saying, I'm not here to fight you, Yuyake. Hey, hell, I'm not even here to arrest you. I'm here to talk to you. And then this is when Yuyake would say, what do you want? And then this is when he would say, I want nothing. Just that I heard about there was a little commotion over at a pawn shop. A guy with black clothing and a white mask, and another guy with a 6-shooter gun, and a kid with a blue jacket, and another kid wearing a tuxedo with whitish, greenish hair. You know anything about that? And then Yake would put his guard down and say, fine, you caught me. And then he would say, well, I didn't have to catch you to know that. Your evidence was standing in the room with you. And then he was like, leave him out of this. And then the guy would say, I'm not here to arrest any of you. I just want to hear your statement because I don't want another cop coming here or another detective coming here. I don't want a cop or a detective coming here to ask you questions. And then this is when Yuyake would say, really? Inspector Thomas, a USA Marines military turned to the feds of Japan, Tokyo. What do you want? And then he says, I just want you to tell me the truth. And then this is when Yuyaka would say, you already know the truth. Inspector, what else do you want? And then this is when he would say, I don't really want nothing. I just wanted to check on you, see how you are nowadays. And then Yuyaka would say, what? Check up on me to see if I could get busted, or check up on me to bust me again. And then he would say, it's not even like that. It's not my fault that we were partners once and you betrayed us. And then he said, I didn't. And then Yuyaka would say, I didn't betray anybody. You left me hot and dry. So I'm gonna do the same to you. Except you're gonna be walking out here in the rain. Leave. This is when the inspector would pick up his coat, would pick up his scarf and coat, and say, you were a good detective, but you just let power get to your head. Something that us quirkless people don't have. As we would cut to Izuku saying, who is that guy? And Neo would tell him that he's the guy that put my brother away in jail for false amount of evidence. And they used to be partners when they both were young detectives. So, yeah. And then this is when Zuko would say, really? Then we would time skip to the next day at the first day of UA. First day of UA, Izuku and... Well, of course, we already know Zuko and Leo got accepted. So, time skip to the first day of UA, like I said. And this is where Izuku and Leo would be taking the spot So Leo got accepted into Class 1B, while Izuku got accepted into Class 1A. Don't worry. We're gonna see more of Leo. Alright, so everything happens like in canon. Well, besides Uraraka thanking him. But the whole Bakugo thing, it would happen different because Zuko doesn't know Bakugo. So Zuko would just agree with Ida saying you should keep your feet off the desk. And this is when Bakugo would tell Zuko, who do you think you're talking to like that? And this is when Mr. Aizawa would get up saying, you all are too loud. Alright, everyone sit down in your seats. This is when they would sit down in their seats as Eraserhead would explain what's going on today. And then he would tell them all to go downstairs and put on this attire. And they would all go downstairs. Soon as they get downstairs outside, Mr. Aizawa would tell them, I didn't tell you this in class because I was already too aggravated and too pissed off. So I'm gonna tell you now. Whoever comes in last place is getting moved to Class 1B. Or, if you don't show any true spirit, I'm kicking you out of this school permanently. Try again later next year. And this is when everybody would just get their whole entire backbone frozen. This is when Mr. Aizawa would say, who is Joey Izuku Joestar? This is where everybody, including Momo Yaoyorozu, Todoroki, and Ida, and even Ochako, and everyone would say, wait, Joestar? And yeah. This is where Izuku would say, my name is Joey Izuku Joestar. Yes, I'm part of the Joestar family. And no, I do not have a quirk. But I have what is called a stand, which he would say, appear now, smooth criminal. as Smooth Criminal would appear, as they would just see a disfigured looking machinery looking weird type dude. And this is when Mr. Aizawa would say, "A stand. I only thought those were just rumors, so I guess people like them still do exist. Alright then, use your power or your stand and fling the ball high into the sky." And this is when Izuku would say, "Now," where Smooth Criminal would shoot one of the shackles on his wrist up into the sky, a little bit feet up into the sky, I guess 200 feet. And this is where he would shoot another shackle, surpassing that shackle that is surpassed the clouds. So you have one shackle that's up where the clouds is, and another shackle that's only 200 feet above Deku. And this is where Deku would say, "Now." And this is where Smooth Criminal will wind his arm and just yell out, "Shoot!" Throwing the ball, aiming it right towards where the shackle is, and then it would rocket out the other shackle, going out of orbit. And this is where Mr. Aizawa would be impressed that his stand isn't just. He's impressed that he doesn't have just a kid in his like for his first time in his teaching career. He has a kid. He's seen someone with a stand, and not just any old stand, a powerful one at that. And everything would go the same as in canon. And Mr. Aizawa sees that Mineta has the drive, sees that Mineta did come in, well, second place in the side to side. I'm gonna say that Mineta comes in first place in the side to side. So he sees that Mineta is good for some skills, and he remembers his research on Mineta, and he tells Mineta to go to Class 1B, as he'll be bringing a stronger student from Class 1A and from Class 1B into Class 1A, which is Leo. And this is when the class, before they would leave. Sorry about that. And before the class leaves, they all get introduced into Leo Zeppeli, and Mr. Aizawa touches Leo Zeppeli, and he seems to do extremely well on everything else. And Mr. Aizawa even says if this Zeppeli kid, was in class 1A instead of that Mineta kid, Leo Zeppeli would have probably came in 8th or 7th place, right behind that Izuku kid, that Joestar boy. But hey, who really cares? As the day would end, and we would see Neo sitting in front of UA, waiting for Kid and Joey and Leo to get out of UA. Now, if you're wondering where's Kid, he's in a support class. No, I'm not gonna put. Well, I want to put him in the hero. Well, type in the comments below if you want Kid to be in the hero class, because right now he's in the support class. Well, Kid is the second year, but Kid is in the hero class. He's just in the upper class because he's a second year. So yeah. So Neo was just waiting for Kid, Joey, and Leo so they can all go back to the manor. And this is where Neo would run to Zuko, giving him a hug, saying, "How was your first day?" And this is where Kid and Leo would look at each other, and they both give each other that face of, "Oh no, if UK finds out, Zuko's dead." And this is where Neo would look at those two and say, "Come on, let's go." And that's what I'm gonna say as well. Let me go. because I'm about to get up out of here. So yeah, hope you guys like, subscribe, comment down below what you guys like about this part. Until next time, this is your boy Mr. What If. Peace out, fams.